Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Mountain Nostalgic Runner. And we are back for another episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And this is season um hold on, sorry. It is season 9, episode 20, and this is for the reunion part 3. And before we get started, let me address the obvious elephant in the room. Yes, I'm not on video today, and the reason why I feel like I always got a reason, but child, for those who are not aware, I have got a lot going on, and this is the week where a lot will be going on. So, yeah, Beverly Hills might be getting reviewed this way too, to be honest with you, just because I'm in the middle of just doing a lot of things. So just bear with me. I think I mentioned in another video, I'm kind of in the process of actually buying my first place. And so that is, yeah, that's happening. So anyway, but anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. Now, where we left off at, oh my gosh, Messy Eddie, not trying to be messy, gave us the tea in the ways of him and Greg contacting. They basically ended up contacting TJ. And side note, we found out, and this is kind of like I'm kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit. But we found out Greg and Eddie were the only ones there, like the only house husbands. So therefore, Eddie was the only one that ended up going on stage, and will find out why very shortly. So Wendy gets some tea very on. She's just kind of like, oh, as into the reason why TJ's not there. In the ways of getting it through Eddie. So before we get to that, though, we see the producers are still trying to console Mia, and Mia leaves. That's it. I'm not gonna give her anything else other than that. Good riddance. And one thing that I found very, very interesting is Jacqueline stayed put. Jacqueline basically stayed for the whole entire third part of the reunion. So, I mean, she didn't really add much other than facial expressions. And honestly, let me be real with you. And let's have a conversation. Can we be real? I'm thinking, honestly, if it wasn't for this tea being dropped at this third part of the reunion, and even with the tea being dropped with the third part of the reunion, this really, to me, should have been 2 extended two longer reunions. So, like, make the first part of the reunion an hour and a half, and then make the second part of the reunion an hour and a half, and then that way you just have 2 reunions. I guess, and I don't even know if you even need the full hour and a half, because outside of some of the things that happened here, it was kind of honestly a regurgitating of things that we already talked about. So I did like the episode, don't get me wrong, it was a key. I enjoyed it, but there was just a lot of nothing there, because outside of Wendy and Eddie, by the way, give Eddie his champagne flute. Give it to him. And also he got to have the first chair. And that's the picture that you see here in the video, in like the beginning of the video, is him sitting in the first chair. I could not help myself. I'm like, this is wonderful. Yeah, but outside of that, nothing really went on. So let me go ahead and just get going with that. So yeah, let's talk more about what tea was spilled. So I forgot exactly how this came up, but like, I guess what happened is that I forgot even how it got brought up. I think Andy somehow talked about TJ, and then the subject came up of why he's not there. So Wendy initially is the one who spills all the tea, and Stacy, girl, She got a lying problem. Stacey, you got a lying problem. I was writing for you. And this is a thing that bothers me. First Robin and now you. You guys are giving Aries a bad name. Don't do that. Anyway, I'm only kidding. Well, kind of, not really. Stacey, she was like, I don't believe TJ would say that, and everyone for pretty much majority of this reunion is trying to let her know like it's on tape, like he said it, and she's like, I want to see it. I'm not gonna believe anything that any of y'all say until I see the tape, and it's just like, but he said it though, and she's like, I'm not believing it, and what. And Stacey, girl, by you doing all this, we now know you are lying. And what gets me about this is like the third or fourth lie she got caught in during this reunion. So she is just like Mia. She's honestly just as much of a liar as Mia. The only difference is she's not exploiting her children. So, I mean, I don't want to put her in the same category. I think her lies are kind of similar to, well, Karen was a liar too. Y'all already knew Karen was a liar. Prior to us, prior to the DUI stuff of it all, well, unfortunately, I can't say that because, I mean, she's had DUIs, child. I'm not trying to be shady, but it's just like, I just now thought about it. I was like, I can't even say that because she's had DUI. She's had the 3 DUIs before the show has ever happened. But anyway, this is before we knew about them. There we go. Before we knew about them, Karen always had a little bit of a lying problem, but she was entertaining enough where it was fine. And her lies, for the most part, were pretty harmless. This season was what kind of ended that for her. But Stacey, girl, as long as your lies are harmless, I guess. I don't know. I guess what we're all trying to figure out, because the whole entire time, okay, so what happened? I forgot. I got way ahead of myself. So it got exposed that TJ was not invited to the show because, number one, he didn't want to do the show because, basically he got paid to be on the show by Stacey. So that was never her man. And also she owes him money. She stopped paying him basically. And that is what TJ told the fellas. And she's like denying it. She's like, oh my gosh, he would never say that. He's my best friend. He would never say that. He would never say that. And everyone's just like, but it's on like video. Like he did say it. Even everyone is saying it to her. Andy's saying it to her. Wendy's like, my husband literally, it was on camera. Like there's proof that happened. And she's still just in flat out denial. Like, no, I will not believe it until I see it. And everyone is just looking at her like, oh my gosh, you are you are so delusional. And of course, when you look at Giselle, she is getting her life because she's like, oh, she's a liar. She's a liar. And Wendy, the whole entire time, is like, girl, just tell the truth. We will not judge you if you just tell the truth. Like, he's your Walter. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Kenya Moore. It's fine. But the whole entire time, and even when she was on Watch What Happens Live, she is dying on the hill that she never did that. They were dating, and he is just angry that they're no longer together. And the whole entire time, I'm like, well, we could just call TJ and we can clear it up. And she would refuse to do that too. So all the things, like, she basically, she got caught. She got caught, and everything that she was trying to say made it come off like, girl, you just got caught. So then that's where we see, how we saw in the preview that the ladies are screaming, Eddie, Eddie. So they finally go and get Eddie out. And of course, this is after, so in between this, before this happened, before they brought Eddie out, they found out that Mia has left, and they're like, oh, okay, anyway. Even Jacqueline didn't even care. And I'm like, oh my God, Jacqueline didn't really see it for Mia. Jacqueline just wanted, to use Mia to get on the show. I think Jacqueline was even sick of her BS. But I don't care enough to see Jacqueline again, to be honest with you. But anyway, everyone's just like, why would you do this? Even Jacqueline's like, I just can't believe she would do this. Everyone was just so confused. It was just, and one thing that I kind of do enjoy on a housewife show is I like a little chaos and confusion. And Stacey is bringing the chaos and confusion because there really is no good reason for this. And so Eddie does come out and is still trying to tell her the same thing, and she is still not believing it. And then finally, because also the reason why they were delayed is showing the footage is because Mia took forever to get up out of there. Because the same camera that captured that moment of TJ, Eddie, and Greg talking to each other was the same camera that was trying to escort Mia out of there. So it took forever. So then finally they do roll the footage, and why did Stacey try to flip this? She tried to flip it and make it about him being a bad guy and how the ladies tried to warn her about him being a bad guy, and still not owning up to the fact that no, your relationship was never real to begin with. And they're just like, so how are you going to flip it on us about how things went wrong in your situation? And because Stacey's like, the reason why we broke up is just because the show was so hard and the way we were portrayed and this, that, and this, and just a bunch of just word salad that was not true. And yeah, Stacey, you got caught. You lying. Okay? Just to sum it up, that's what happened here. All right, next. Also, can we be honest? I don't mind this lie. I mean, not even at all. Not even a little bit. I am somewhat okay with this lie. Yes, I know I'm a hypocrite, but we're humans. We're all hypocrites. I think the reason why I'm okay with this lie is because it is really, truly a harmless lie. It's not really hurting anybody. If anything, she probably uses lie to deflect from anyone really getting in her business about her divorce. I think that's kind of the reason why she even did this. I think moving forward, because, once now that her divorce is finalized and stuff, she may not do this as much. But I guess to me, this comes off to me as like a white lie and not really a lie that can really hurt or harm others. And I feel like most housewives in general and people in general lie. So I guess when it comes to this, I'm not as bothered by it. And I know that sounds hypocritical as all get out because we just sashayed freaking Mia the liar up out of there. But Mia's lies were always giving Love and Hip Hop plot and the Maury Povich show. So I think the quality of lie, and also too, even how Stacey denied and stood on business, and no one even saw her crack, not one time. She is making a very good housewife. It's giving to me is very similar to how Karen was when it comes to any of her lies. Like whenever anyone would challenge her, she would just stand on business with it as if like it was the truth. And so people would just stop it. And so I think Stacey, be prepared next season because it's safe to say she's coming back. Because she brought, I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for this whole entire lie that she did, we wouldn't even have a part 3. Let's be real. Let's be so for real. Without Stacey's lie, we would have not had a 3-part reunion. And so, yeah, there it is. But anyway, like I'm looking forward to next season because I already know Giselle is going to be on her neck. And also, I don't know how the other ladies are going to be treating her, but she straight up said, I'm saying what I'm standing on business. This is my truth. And if you don't believe me, I don't care. I was like, oh my God. And side note, that is such an Aries thing. We do not care. Once we have a hill and we decide we're dying on that hill, I don't care. I like that child. That's why I was like, yeah. Unfortunately, she's an Aries, and I can't say all of us lie. I don't feel like I lie. I sometimes will exaggerate a little bit, but lying, not really my style. But hey, I guess neither here nor there. And maybe if I was, needing something to deflect from what I really got going on, maybe I would lie. I don't know. But I would never be on a reality show. So that's just me. But anyway, let's actually really move on this time. I just had to just add a little bit more to that. So then next after that, we then do go and talk about Karen and her DUI arrest. We basically the rest of the reunion is about that. Karen and the DUI arrest and how she did not handle it well. And we do talk a little bit. We do have a little bit of a Jacqueline segment, which explains why she was still there, where they're talking about how out of everyone, Karen kind of went on full attack mode and deflection mode on Jacqueline, of all people. And yeah, part of it was provoked. And then Jacqueline tried to say, well, Mia's the one who kind of talked me into it. And the ladies were like, no, you brought it up too. But when they rolled the footage, Mia actually is the one who brought it up first. And then Jacqueline elaborated on it. Like basically, Mia goaded her into bringing the whole entire thing up. And so it's kind of crazy to me that Karen... Actually, I understand why Karen went on and attacking Jacqueline versus Mia. Because I think Jacqueline's the weaker one of the two. Like Jacqueline, she's not going to get physical with you, and she's not going to like her words. She's not very smart on her feet when it comes to like responding. Mia will go way below the belt, as we saw, like all the seasons she's been on the show, and she might get physical with you. So I'm pretty sure Karen just didn't want that, and so she was just like, not gonna even deal with Mia when it comes to that. So anyway, so they do talk about the balloon thing with Jacqueline showing up with the balloons. Jacqueline finally owns up to it and admits that yes, it was shady at first, and then she still is trying to say afterwards she was trying to make it positive, but that doesn't even make any sense. It's just like just stick with the first part of it that you meant to be shady, because we all knew that, and the fact that you try to pretend that that's not what it was, girl, no. And then also Jacqueline does defend herself on why she decided to even do the whole balloon thing, because of Karen going below the belt and talking about her baby daddy. So that's kind of what happened there. Outside of that, they go back to Karen. Jacqueline stays again for the remaining of the show. I didn't really mind her being there. I am kind of annoyed that she got more time on the reunion sofa than Jacqueline. Also, side note, I forgot to mention, when Andy finally did show the footage to Stacy, Andy ended up sitting in between Stacy and Wendy, because by then Eddie has already left. And Messy Ashley was just like, I want to see, we're invested. And I don't know about y'all, but this whole reunion, especially this third part, I was actually more annoyed by Ashley than I was annoyed by Jacqueline. And I never thought I would say that, because I can't stand Jacqueline either. But Ashley, girl, you truly have no purpose on this couch or on this show. She was getting on my nerves. Like, oh my gosh, she was a gnat. She was like a gnat. Shout out to Teddy Mellencamp, and hopefully she's recovering. But anyway, let's go on. So then they go back to talking about Karen and everything that's going on. And then basically Giselle mentions how her not taking that plea deal was ridiculous and stupid. And for those who didn't know, she had the option, because now the verdict is out and she was found guilty. But then on top of that, what her time is going to be is she is currently in jail. Currently. And she's going to be in jail for a year. And then the second year, she's going to be on probation. So it's a total 2-year sentence type situation. Which, honestly, considering that it is 4 DUIs, 4, if it was anyone else, it wouldn't be just 2 years. It would not be just 2 years. So they still basically, in my opinion, gave her a slap on the wrist. Like, to me, that definitely was a slap on the wrist. Anyway, so let's move on from that. Let's actually continue with that. So basically, we find out that the plea deal originally, she had 2 options with the plea deal. And this is according to Giselle. She said she's not 100% sure, but she's like, she heard from like a reliable source that she could have either did 60 days. Was it 60 days in jail? I think it was either 60 days in jail or like something about community service or something like that. Something light. It was like she could, or actually, no, it was like either 60 days in jail or like 60 days house arrest. It was something where like it was going to be way less than what she's doing now. And she could just did that and been done. And that was actually, the plea deal was a slap on the wrist that she refused to take. And so there was a little bit of debate between the ladies of if she saw the footage or not. And honestly, this is my thought on it. There's no way, in my opinion, I don't think she saw the footage. And Giselle is like standing on, no, she definitely saw the footage. I'm like, no. I think what happened, I think her representatives, like her legal team saw the footage, but she refused to watch the footage. So the legal team her representation was horrible. Basura. And they did her dirty. Either that, or maybe she was so stubborn that she just, went against legal counsel. But either way, they're both I think what happened, and according to Karen, she didn't see the footage, because child, we'll get into the additional video that Karen sent in, because even though she wasn't at the reunion, she made sure she was at this reunion, which tells me everything. If you didn't already know this, it's very obvious that she has no remorse for what she did. She is still not owning up to anything, no remorse. No accountability, none of that. But because instead of you focusing on you having, dealing with sobriety, you're too busy sending in videos after videos after videos to Bravo to be on this reunion without having to be on this reunion so that you don't get any pushback about everything that happened. Which that's what it is. I mean, let's be real. We know that's exactly what it is. But anyway, so according to Karen, because she sent in another video, and it was like a fluff video. She's still not owning up to the fact that this was like an actual thing where she did anything wrong all the way. She's still blaming it on her mixing pain medication with drinking versus, I don't know, her being a drunk. Like, just not owning up to anything. And so, and this is a video that she sent him with Ray. And it's her getting ready. It's the day before she went to rehab. Or her version of rehab. Because we found out that wasn't even really rehab. The judge, that's why the judge did what they did. They actually kind of went kind of hard on her. In her opinion, but not really. I still think it was light. But anyway, so what was I getting at with that? Oh yeah. So basically, she kept saying that she didn't see the video. And I guess to me, back to the thought of it, I think she actually did not see the video. I think she relied on her legal team to watch the video. Because clearly someone watched a video because they were trying to suppress the video. They did not want that to come out. So clearly someone saw the video, but I'm not sure Karen did. Anyway. And as they're talking about this, I think Ashley or Giselle, I'm pretty sure it was Ashley. They like shaded her as like, well, maybe she was drunk and that's why she didn't notice that the video was crazy because she was watching the video while she was drunk. And Ashley, oh man, and I don't even know if Karen would have been at that reunion. Ashley was going to tear her up along with Wendy. Giselle probably would have been softer on her, but still would have like given her, the business a little bit. But Ashley especially was just throwing out a whole bunch of tea, being messy, talking about how Karen is known for being a drunk, has always been known for being a drunk, is a regular in day drinks and gets lit everywhere throughout the DMV. She's met random strangers who've talked about this for years. And Wendy was originally not, like, she was going to say something, but then she stopped herself from saying something. But then once Ashley said something, then Wendy's like, yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing, but it was a different restaurant. So that's pretty much her life, her day-to-day life. She day drinks and drinks every single day, which tells me she definitely has a drinking problem. I'm not going to put the alcoholic label on anyone, but a drinking problem, oh, that is clear as day. She definitely has a drinking problem. So they kind of go more into that. And then you could tell Giselle was genuinely kind of just like so over Karen and her, because Karen and Giselle, they're frenemies, but I think they genuinely care about each other. And I think with Giselle, when she saw the video and this third video, she was like, she should have kept that video because the video made it worse. It did not help. And I'm actually honestly, it's probably for the best that she got sentenced, the timing that she did get sentenced before this reunion, third part reunion came out. Because I feel like if the judge would have saw this, I think it would have been so much worse. I think her sentencing would have been even worse than what she got. But pretty much the rest of the reunion was kind of just that was it. There really wasn't much else to it. And that's why, in my opinion, I think it just could have been like 2 parts and just, cut out all the extra fluff and it would have been fine. But that's what I think about it. Let me know what you think about it. Yeah, so that concludes the reunion. And I guess now we're going from Potomac to the ATL. And so anyway, that does conclude my video for today. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.